Yes, people, we're back. Big up to you all. I hope you're enjoying the sunshine. Big up to everyone from 12th Man who's come and raided and joined us over here with myself and Lee. Welcome back to the channel. Make sure you do two things I ask on my channel and on this channel. It's absolutely free. Please hit like and subscribe. That's all I ask. Like and subscribe. Two buttons are absolutely free. Let's get us up to 40k and 50k. This channel's on the way to the big 50, which is amazing, to be honest. So please make sure that you help and support with that. It does mean a hell of a lot, and it does actually take the channel to a new level when you hit the likes and subscribe. It's all about that. Yeah, it took me a good few years to realize when you look at the analytics how much that actually does make the channel grow. So let's please make sure that we get the likes. Big up to everyone in the chat. Make sure that you do that. And do you know what? I hope you all enjoyed last night, because the second half, I've got to say, was actually quite an enjoyable performance. First half, matchsticks in my eyes to try and keep me awake. However, the second half was a hell of a lot better. And I've got to be real, there was a lot of positives, I thought, last night. Some of them a little bit mediocre performances individually, but we're going to go through it. We're going to talk a little bit about the injury crisis that could be now in defence as opposed to striker at Arsenal. I can't believe we've got both of our departments in one season pretty much wiped out, but let's talk about that. We're also going to talk about Arteta's comments yesterday or the day before. In the last 48 hours, we have been predicted yet again to have a war chest and a huge summer ahead. So we're going to be talking about that as well. And yeah, we're going to get into the game first of all. Judges, I saw your AFTV fan cam. Evenings are very hard for me to do fan cams now because I'm normally with parents. They got to get back and stuff. But during the days, I'm normally do the fan cams. But I do like to watch yourself. I watched Yardman talking, more interested about the dating, bless him. And then yourself, I did see your fan cam. I want to talk about something you said, and I want to start here. And I started on my show here. One player that I really loved the performance of individually last night was Gabriel Martinelli. Now, Gabriel Martinelli gets a lot of stick, bruv. I'm not quite sure why, but he does get a lot of stick. Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't get any stick because he's been phenomenal, because he hasn't. And some of his individual performances have definitely deserved to be called out, right? But when I see the performances of other players that are quite bad, I think he gets a little bit of the Nicolas Pepe treatment. Do you remember I used to stick up for Nicolas Pepe a little bit? Because not that I thought he was our best player by any means, but I thought that he used to get a lot of stick because of his price tag. And individually, he used to create or score most of the chances for us. I think there was one season he was our top scorer. Every time he came on, he created or did something. And I didn't say that we should have kept him and he was brilliant, but certainly I thought he got a hell of a rough time in comparison to some of the others. I kind of feel like we do that a little bit with Martinelli. Now, last night, I thought he was excellent, mate. And he was taking on his man. He was beating his man. He was putting in brilliant balls into the box, whether they were floated across, whether they were drilled across, whether they were cut back. I think there was 5 or 6 crosses that he managed to put in. He set up a goal with a brilliant flick for Saka. And he was my player of the match. Now, I know he wasn't the best player on the pitch. I appreciate that. But for what I saw typically from the likes of Timber and Partey, I don't think their performances, as much as they were excellent, were wow. That's such an improvement than what I saw of Martinelli, which is why I give him player of the match for me, because last night is what I want to see from Gabriel Martinelli. Because at 17, when I saw him, Lee, that was what I was seeing, was fearlessness, confidence, was desire, was drive forward. And if I said to you back then, wow, Lee, this kid's 17, look how good he's going to be at 23. Well, he's 23 now, and he ain't as good as what I thought he would have been. But when I see performances like that, I don't know what was different last night, but it was as if he took the shackles off and was allowed to drive forward. Because a lot of the time, Arteta is saying, nah, come back, don't do that, cut him back inside, don't take him out, don't do that. And I looked at him last night and none of that was happening. I thought he was really good, bruv. So I want to start with him. What did you make of it?
I thought he was outstanding. I think everything that he done last night was great. Listen, the criticism comes because of exactly what you said. I think like that, we all thought that the ceiling was going to be very, very high with him. He's not quite hit those heights. And so I think there's a little bit of frustration about that. And I get that. But I watched him last night and, Arteta's onto him all the time about defending, getting back and doing that sort of side of his game. And, that's fine if that's what you want to do. I sort of said, maybe you should sub him and everything like that. But apparently I don't think you could because we've made too many subs. I don't know what the rules are. I thought you could have 5 subs. I don't know.
Yeah, you can, but you have to make them within 3 times. So you have to, if you make 5 subs, but you do 3 substitutes. So like, how do I explain this? If you want to make 5 subs, you only get 3 chances to do it. If you, if in them 3 times you've made you haven't made 5. You can't bring the other one on because you've had
Yeah, I get it. So like what
you know what I mean?
So what he could have done was probably bring on 2 instead of 1 in that last
Exactly
one.
that.
You know what I mean?
Exactly
I get
that.
I didn't realise that we'd done that, obviously, because with the Gabriel one as well. So he had to keep him on there. But I just felt at the end of the day, you know what I mean, he was working really, really hard, and Arteta was making him work even harder defensively and all that, like, you know. And that's hard for a winger. And there's a little bit of thing with wingers that can be a little bit inconsistent and shackled from their defensive duties. So this is something that he's never done, Dan. You know what I mean? Like, and to be fair, Arteta doesn't really allow him to do that. And Saka and who's, you know, Wanyeri, they're all in. I see Wanyeri in the first half being influenced to get back into a shape and whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how Arteta wants to play. There's a high demand for that. But yesterday, I think that when you're making runs like he did, and then I don't say he was unappreciated of it, like, you know, but he made a run where he was absolutely knackered, and Arteta's getting onto him, get back, get into this, get into there, like, you know. And I felt for him last night. I felt for him, you know, he was getting onto him a little bit. Now, I've watched Arteta's interview after the game, and I've had a little think about it and all that. Like, I think Arteta's frustrated about the injury of Gabriel. I think that it got the ump about it, you know. And I get that because I had the ump. So I'm pretty sure, you know.
He definitely had the up when Timber went down as well. Because when he did, right, because he went down and then he carried on playing him. I couldn't believe he kept him on, to be fair. And then when he went down,
I thought that.
I was stunned. I mean, he was bloody good. He was by far one of our best players.
Yes.
We'll come on to him in a minute. But when he went down, I looked at Arteta and he just went like that. He went like that and he went as if to say, what am I supposed to do? But we'll come on to the injuries in a minute.
Yeah. And I just think that, you know, maybe he was a little bit wound up with what's gone on and perhaps took it a little bit out on Martinelli at the end of the day. But Martinelli was fantastic. I'm pretty sure, like, there's no problems there or whatever, like, you know. But I just thought he was brilliant from the word go. But that's what you want your wide players to do. And as for you saying, like, I thought it was a poor first half, but he was the one from the up front creating. If anybody else, I have to say another poor performance from Odegaard until Saka come on. I don't say that he was fantastic after that, but there was an improvement. But the whole game improved when Saka come on. Like, you know what I mean? All of a sudden,
that's a nice segue, because I mean, I've celebrated a lot of goals in the Emirates, and I've celebrated some brilliant moments in the Emirates. And as much as that game wasn't one of the best games I've seen, that goal and the celebration made me feel so warm inside, mate. Because I looked at his celebration and I looked at how he felt. I looked at the joy. I looked at the smile. I looked at the celebration. I looked at the way he went over to all the backroom staff, all the players, the fans. There is a genuine love and affection and connection with that kid, mate. And I put him in my top 5 favourite Arsenal players of all time already. I absolutely love everything about this kid. And we have missed him so much. When he came on, you know, Sam said to me, big up to Sam, he said to my family at half-time, Saka will come on and we'll win this game comfortably. And we didn't win it comfortably in the end because they scored, but without him, we wouldn't have won the game. He came on and boom. So we've missed him, Lee, haven't we? You know,
we missed him. What he done also, Dan, was he made the players around him play better, i.e. Declan Rice seemed to be freed up a little bit, as I say, Odegaard was. And what it was is because straight away the pass forwards on for him. Now, that's nothing against Wanyeri, like, you know. But as soon as he got the ball, he frightened defenders. He knows when to pass, and he knows when to take on, and he knows when to do all that sort of stuff, and also to get into the box and score. But I think that, you know, you look at that and you go, that's what we've missed a little bit. Like, you know, all of a sudden, straight away, the ball was going straight out to him without no hesitation. But he makes himself available. I'm not saying that Wanyeri does. It's a different thing. Like, you know what I mean? He just creates that. You know, when they say great players and that create a little bit of space for themselves without probably knowing it, and he does that. He just. And I also think because the defenders are a little bit fearful, they don't do. Right, I'm not going to go such tight on him because he might be able to turn me whether, where they can do that of other players. They just drop off a little bit, do things that they don't normally do, and that's what happened with him there. And I just felt that the lift from the crowd when he came on, but I just felt our general play was a lot better when he came on. I actually thought Marino played a lot better, like had a little bit more space to do things. He actually done well when he dropped into midfield. But realistically, yeah, you can tell how much we've missed Saka. And I thought it weren't a bad watch up until when he came on, up until there go. But our defending at times, Dan, is a major concern for me. Like I look at Arteta at times and I think, yeah, I like the way that the team's coached. It's so drilled. It's so well organised. It knows exactly what they're. But we are so exposed on the counter-attack at times, at home, not away from home, at home. 3 times yesterday, they picked up the ball on their halfway line before anybody engaged, and they was deep into our box, deep into our 18-yard box before they was approached or contact was made. That ain't good enough, Dan. And certainly against top teams, you could have ended up drawing that game last night, and that's the problem that's been there.
Mooney's missed an absolute sitter, and right at the end, they put their header wide. I mean, we could have lost the game. That's how crazy it is.
And you look at it and you go, well, how comes we didn't win that game and we didn't win that game? That's why, Dan, because it's not necessarily about chances. The one that really annoyed me was when Odegaard was in the box, should have had the shot, but he tried to have one pass too much. It goes out to Iwobi, and he runs from deep in our half to the edge of the box, and they should score, Dan. They should score.
Yeah, they should score.
You can't be letting those sort of things happen. Now, if that is against Real Madrid, it's going to score. Now, people go, oh, it don't matter, we won 2-1. Imagine if we're 2-0 up with 5 minutes to go and we're opening ourselves up to and they end up nicking a goal 2-1, right? It completely changes the
second leg.
It does. But we continue to do it. It's not the first time this has happened. I watched Crystal Palace play Fulham on Saturday. They could still be out there and they never had a shot on target. They never looked like scoring. They had 4 gilt-edged chances against us. That's not right. I'm sorry, you know what I mean? Like, you're talking 80% possession in the games of football and they're having 4 chances like that. It's not been addressed and it still ain't been addressed. Now, listen, going to stick up for Arteta a little bit here because he's doing his nut on the line about it.
Yeah.
And it's just maybe the players are switching off or the 2 attack. Well, I love Lewis-skelly, brilliant player. Well, what was he doing for that goal? Where was he? He's supposed to be left back. If that was Zinchenko, everybody would go mad.
Yeah, facts. And he's done that a couple of times, and I love it.
Just completely out of position. Now, some people will turn around and say, oh, well, that's because he's in midfield and his arse are going, well, all right, yeah, okay. So Arteta should be telling it. But also, game management tells you, you're 2-0 up here. We don't need you coming in bombing on now. We don't need you in midfield, Miles. We just need you to defend. And that, I look at Partey, I look at Declan Rice, and people like that.
To be fair, Partey was at right back then. But Declan Rice, I mean, we'll come on to our midfield in a minute because I'm so pissed off and frustrated with our midfield. I've got to be honest with you, mate. But let's start with the injuries to our defence, mate, and how we move forward with this because this is a crisis, bruv.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how long these players are out for, right? But Ben White's nowhere to be seen again. He's had a niggle, so he's had a setback. Now, whether that means he's out for Everton or Madrid, I don't know. So that's one a question mark. Tommy Asu, let's forget him. You got Calafiori, let's forget him. You got Timber and Gabriel now. That's 5 defenders that are out potentially for Real Madrid, which means that we've got some options. And I'll tell you what option it's going to be. And you ain't going to like me, and neither of the chat, but Partey is going to be right back against Real Madrid.
Yeah, guaranteed.
And we are screwed if that happens. Not only does he take him out of midfield, and I love Declan Rice in the 6, we'll come on to that in a minute, but we need Partey. How good was he yesterday?
He was brilliant yesterday. Brilliant.
Right. But at right back against Vinny Jr. or Mbappe or Rodrigo, whoever he's going to be, that is an absolute disaster home and away, right? Then you come into the middle. I love Saliba, but Gabriel needs Saliba and Saliba needs Gabriel because when that is Kivior and Saliba, It ain't. And I didn't think Kivior was shocking last night by any means, right? But he certainly weren't Gabriel.
Taking him down, hasn't he?
He's got a mistake in him. Then you've got Miles Lewis-skelly, we've just been speaking about, has been caught out now against Liverpool being too far up the pitch, West Ham where he got sent off, and now Fulham. You can't do this against Real Madrid. This is a disaster, Lee, isn't it?
Listen, it is. Listen, I'm a little bit, spiky today, and I was a bit spiky yesterday with the performance and all that because, and I'll be really honest, once Gabriel went down, that was it. That's a massive, you know what I mean? Like, do you know when we beat?
That's as bad as Saka, that, isn't it? That's as bad as
when we lost when we beat Palace 5-1, everybody's going, "Oh, you should beat like 5." I said, "No, the league's done because Saka was out injured. It's the same now." I think that this is a brutal injury for us to take. Like, and I understand that Arteta's frustration. You just get Saka back, you get your best player back, and then you're having a defensive crisis. Like, you know. Now, listen, I mentioned it on the Forever Arsenal, and I don't know if you agree with me or not. Like, I'm you know, I don't think that Timber will play on Saturday. He might be ready for Tuesday. I don't know, like, you know, but not going to happen. I'd actually think about playing Tierney as a left-sided central defender instead of Kivior, like, you know. I don't know. I just seen Kivior. You know what's coming, Dan. I know, like, it's you know what's happening. Like, you know, he's got a mistake in him. I'm not having to get going because I'm right with what you're saying, Dan. He won a lot of headers yesterday, done a lot of good stuff yesterday, which and a lot of tidying up, which people, you know, won't notice because that's exactly what you're supposed to do. But there's a mistake in there all the time, and I'm sorry, like, you know, and to go in against Real Madrid now with your third choice left-sided central defender, that's because of what he is, because you've got Gabriel gone out. I'm pretty sure if Calafiori was fit, he would have gone in there. Ben White, you know, if he doesn't play against Everton, you can't bring him back even if he's fit. He just hasn't had enough games. Yeah, you could see on Arteta's face, you know what I mean? Like yesterday, that he the way he talked about Ben White, another one that, you know, has hardly played this season. It was a lot of frustration in there. I think it's a difficult one what he does now. Like, you know, Thomas Partey at right back, Timber maybe at central defence. I don't know, like, but whatever you reckon, I'm with you against Everton.
We need Ben White and Timber back, mate. I hope Ben White and Timber are not. We need everyone back, but if there's anyone with a chance, it's got to be Ben White and Timber, because the way they came off, and obviously Ben White's got a niggle. Surely that's not long term. I mean, Timber, it looked like he probably needed Everton off, but does he need Real Madrid off as well? That's the question mark, you know. And maybe three at the back. Maybe he goes Saliba, maybe he goes Saliba, Kivior and Tierney, and then go with Miles Lewis-skelly and mind you, we're going to play at right wing back. Saka. I don't know if you can do that. Really.
I think you've got to go in it. Do you know what? Like, I looked at that yesterday and I was saying, no, if there was any sort of a doubt on Timber, especially after you lost Gabriel, just
take him off. I know.
Sometimes listen. I'm not going to criticise Arteta too much because let's get this straight. Gabriel played one game for Brazil, didn't play the next game, come home, has had a more than enough rest. He hasn't been overplayed. He hasn't been pushed over the last couple of weeks, and there he goes down with a hamstring injury. Like, you know, it can happen. It's just one of those things, and there's nothing manager you can't put the blame on it for him. It's just unfortunate. But once you've lost him, I know as a manager, as soon as Timber got an injury, I'm thinking right now, like, I've got to think of, you know, the bigger picture here. That Real Madrid, it's the only cup we can win. It's the only thing we can win. Like, get him off, and I can't believe he didn't do it. And at the end of it, like, you know, in the end, he was sort of like had to come off. He was forced to come off, and so why didn't you just take him off? Like, you know, I just don't get that. And we was struggling a little bit after that, Dan. You know, another 5 minutes, they would have scored. They would have scored another 5 minutes that game. When it was 6 minutes, okay, if they'd have scored a couple of minutes earlier, it was an uncomfortable ride.
Yeah,
you know, it was an uncomfortable ride at the end there, like, you know. So I don't. It's a very, very difficult one. What we're going to do now, like what, Dan, and also I don't want to be doom and gloom about everything here, but the last place you want to be going to is somewhere like Everton 3 days before Real Madrid. It's a tough ask.
Well, let me ask you quickly then. What are we doing for the team against Everton? Are we fucking this game off? What are we doing? Serious? Like, there's no, we can't play our best 11 against Everton and then go and last do 3 days later, can we?
No,
like against Real Madrid.
Well, listen. I was thinking today, like, you know what I mean, Gabriel and Saliba. I would have rested Saliba for the Everton game, or one of them. Now Gabriel's gone out. I'm seriously saying, like, we cannot risk anything happening to Saliba. Don't forget, this is on the back of 2 international games that he's played and extra time. So for me, I'm thinking like maybe but then if you leave Saliba out, who are you going to put in?
You have to put Rice at the back and put Jorginho in or something.
Yeah, I'd actually like, if Ben White's fit, I'd say, right, you need to get some minutes in your legs
if he's fit.
If he's fit, but if he's
Calafiori, how long's Calafiori out for again? I mean, this guy, man, I'm sorry, this has been a.
Well, have you seen that injury? Did you see what happened?
No.
He just slipped, and it was just so unfortunate. So unfortunate. But
this guy's injured all the time.
Yeah, I can't believe it, how he fell. And, you know, listen, out for a couple of weeks. If you ever get to see it, he could have been out for a lot longer. So I don't know that. I you know what I mean? Like, I see Tommy Asu on the bench yesterday, sitting there, like, you know, I had to look twice to see if it was him. But I really don't know what they're going to do. A lot of people saying, like, yeah, make changes and all that. They can make a couple of changes in midfield and whatever, but I don't think I look at this game and I think, like, the players we can't be without: Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, Rice,
Saka,
right? You know what I mean? But Saka's you've got to gamble with Saka, like, on getting some minutes. I'd start Saka 60 minutes off.
You'd start him against Everton.
Yeah, start him and take him off after 60 minutes. What they done with Wanyeri yesterday, like, you know, get to a certain point and off.
Yeah, I'll probably do what we did last night with Saka. I'll bring him on 20 minutes again.
Yeah, I think, like, he needs a little bit more intense. I don't know. Whatever he does, he does. So you can't rest Saliba now. Gabriel's out. Raya, like, you know, is a big one to leave out if you're going to do that. So you can't leave him out. And Declan Rice, I would have left out for this game, like, you know what I mean? As you say, you might have to play centre half at this
I think my back four against Everton will be Tierney left back, Kivior left centre back, right back Miles Lewis-skelly, and then centre back Declan Rice. And then I'd have Jorginho and Partey in a double pivot with Ødegaard. And then a front three, which probably consists of Marino, so I don't want him playing up front against Real Madrid. And then Wanyeri and Martinelli. And then have...
You don't want him up front?
Marino. No, I'd want to see him.
5 goals in 8.
I know. And this is the weird thing. I've just been speaking on my channel about it because you're going to disagree with me because you like him, but I don't think he's done anything different to Kai Havertz. 5 and 8. I mean, this is what Havertz wasn't even doing that. But what are we missing from Kai? Nothing. This Marino is doing no different to what Kai does.
No, I agree. I agree. But, you know, like, his numbers are pretty good, and it was a good goal. Yes, I know that it was a deflection, but
he will play. He will play up front against Real Madrid.
I think he will. Dan, I think he will.
I think he will, but I wouldn't do it. But I think a lot of people would. I think
Arteta. If you've got a makeshift striker getting 5 in 8, what's a proper striker going to get?
Yeah. No, it's hard for me to disagree, but I'm not a fan of it. But it is, you know, he's scoring, isn't he? But that's where I'm at with the Everton game. I'm not saying just hopefully we lose, we just get through it. I want to win, but I'm not going to bother. We've lost the league, mate. Like, I'm not going to bother sitting there getting excited. But if Liverpool lose tonight, I ain't going to get excited. Oh my God! It could be 9 points if we beat Everton. I'm not going to be fussed by it because I know we're dropping more points in the league anyway. But this Real Madrid game, I'm seriously worried about, bruv. Seriously worried.
Do you think Everton fans will turn up on Saturday, like, wanting Arsenal to win?
I think they'll
I
turn
wouldn't
up.
see Arsenal come on Arsenal and wearing red tops like a certain other club done.
Everton ain't going to do that, bruv.
100% they won't do that. Why? Because they're a proper football club. You know what I mean? Like they want to get results for themselves, and they've got nothing to play for. They ain't got top four to play for, like a certain other team had. They've got just their personal pride, but their personal pride will mean that we'll have a very, very difficult game. And like, whether you like it or not, if Everton do beat us, they're probably less going like, there's a title, Liverpool. Like, you know, so listen, they're not going to roll over and die. And I'll tell you what, if Arsenal score, I don't think they'd be cheering on the Arsenal scoring a goal, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know,
I don't know what you mean there.
Very, very happy they're going to do it, like, you know. So listen, this is a difficult game for us. I think Everton will be a step too far for us. I really do. Like, even though Everton are playing tonight, we've got the extra day. I think like that defence and what's happening in that defence last night. You know, like, at the end of the day, I was disappointed to see that before Gabriel got injured that Ben White weren't on it. He thought, oh, that's a kick in. You know, you're getting Saka back, and Ben White, and then all of a sudden Gabriel's gone down. You know, I don't think you can risk Timber, even if he's 80% fit. You can't risk him. I just don't know what you're going to do. Like, you know what I mean? So
I know what he's going to do. He's going to put Partey at right back. Oh, I know that. I've accepted that, and I hate it. Even though we've lost, we haven't won 7 of the games out of 8 that he's done it. He'll still do it again. This manager, 100%, because he seems to think he can play there. Vinny Jr. running against Partey. My goodness, it could be 8 at the Emirates. But listen, Timber and Partey. Let's talk about them last night, because I'm going to say 2 things about these players, right? And I want you to know if you agree with me. I think Timber, in terms of his consistent performances, has been outstanding for someone who's come back from an ACL injury. I think he has been absolutely phenomenal, mate. I cannot understand how you can put in 8s and 9s out of 10s consistently, be one of our best players this season when you've come back from an ACL. Thomas Partey, we need to give him another year contract, mate, because he is ridiculously important for us in midfield. He is the only thing in midfield that's working for me at the moment. I'm sick and tired of the other 2 positions. I cannot stand it. I actually really am angry about how bad it looks. We have spent £300 million on this midfield, and it looks a mess, in my opinion. Other than him, he is so good, mate. So talk to me about Timber and Partey, bruv.
Yeah, I've got to say Partey was outstanding all the way through the game. I felt like, you know, the covering things that he done and all that was fantastic. I didn't think, you're right, Odegaard and Rice was anything near they were. Rice got better as the game went on, I have to say. But I ain't going to say it now. When Partey went out to right back, I thought we was open in midfield, very, very open in midfield. I think maybe like this was a game for me. They couldn't wait to get Wanyeri off, could he? You know what I mean? I think this was a game to say, do you know what? You stay on. I'm taking you off, Martin, because you've been like poor again. But I get it that he wants to keep him on because, you know, and try and get the chemistry between him and Saka again. But I don't think he deserved to stay on the pitch yesterday. I thought that Rice got better, as I said, in the second half. But I hear what you're saying on that. Like, there isn't those little tricky little through balls or something there from Rice. You know what I mean? Like, it's beat a player and it goes out wide. There's nothing like a little 1-2 with the forward and going round a couple of players and nicking.
This is like Pep playing Rodri in the 8, bruv. It would not happen. You don't put your best number 6 you spend £105 million on in a Cesc Fabregas role. I don't know how people can't believe this is nonsense. For me, you have taken the player of the year and said, brilliant, well done, but forget that now. You're playing as a tracking minute 8. Sorry?
Yeah, I get that. But then,
man. I'm so pissed off with it, man.
You're leaving Partey out there who's been our best at it, like, you know. So it is. Listen, I think, right, I'll argue with you all day long. I think he can play that, but you've got to have other. I think he'd be better now that Saka's in the team, like, you know. But give it as it was, yes, sir. But
But I'm not asking. I'm just asking Partey and Rice to both be a double pivot.
Yeah, they can do that, but then
Vieira.
you know what I mean.
That's
For
all I'm
whatever
asking.
reason, that's not working, is it? Like because Odegaard keeps breaking. I thought he was poor yesterday. Mate.
Oh dear, mate, what is happening with him, man? Oh dear God, we're gonna have to start calling him. He is. I'm telling you now. I'm starting to lose patience, Lee. Oh, he's had a baby, right? Was he up all night breastfeeding then? Like, what's going on here? And then we've got this. Oh, he's ill and he's sick. How long's he been sick for? He's been back. He's been back since November. He ain't still injured, Lee, is he? He's just not playing well, bruv. Like, let's just say how it is. He is not playing well. He's been poor. He ain't no leader. He ain't a captain. But that's another story. He is just not playing well enough, bruv. He ain't.
Yeah, like that's the thing in it, like that. I mean, so I don't understand. Like you know, it got a little bit better when Saka comes on. That's why I'm maybe saying start Saka on Saturday because he's got to try and get his form up somehow. Like you know, I really don't know, mate. I really don't know. I just don't know what I looked at him yesterday and I thought, right, okay, yeah, he ran around, he pressed well at times, made a couple of neat little passes here and there, but what else? He didn't really grab the game by the scruff of the neck. He didn't really. I know it's difficult with that, with the setup and all that. Like, I just didn't really see enough of him yesterday to say, do you know what? He's nowhere near at the levels of last season, Ben. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. You can't keep going on about the injury all the time, like as well. I know that's an excuse for a certain thing, but I don't know. Like there was a time when he could have shot it over the bar. You know what I mean?
He did brilliantly.
Yeah, and
It back to him, and he spooned it over the bar with his favoured foot. I mean, listen, he could have had a couple of assists last night. Timber had a good shot saved by Leno.
Yes, that was a lovely pass. That was what I'm saying. It was a lovely pass.
You know, and Martinelli scored, but obviously, you know, VAR ruled it offside because it was offside. But that would have been an assist for Martinelli's goal. So he could have had 2 assists last night, but it ain't enough, Lee. I'm not seeing enough from him. I'm not excited by him. I don't look at Odegaard's performances and think, yeah, he's nearly there now. He's just about there. 2 goals in 22 games. This is our creative spark, by the way. What is happening here?
No, and that's the thing, like, you know, and that's why I think you've got to get somebody else in there as well. Maybe there's too much emphasis on it. That I don't know, but he wasn't great. He wasn't great, like for that, like you know what I mean. So I have to say, I thought it was as you say, like you know, he got better as the game got better as the game went on. But that first half, you know,
wow.
You know what it's like. You know, at the minute at Arsenal, like you know the anthem, like you know what I mean, North London forever, right?
Mm.
That's like a bedtime story, isn't it? Like you know what I mean, like when you hear that, it's a bedtime story, like you
know. You're ready to go to sleep after it.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Like you know what I mean, and then like you know, you wake up at half time and it's morning already. Like, and the first half is a snore fest. It really. I'm looking at it, and you know, we scored the goal and everything like that, and I'm just, I mean, come on, like you know, even when we scored, I didn't really get excited about it. Like you know, it's very, very difficult to watch Arsenal at the minute. Second half, I thought. You know, it did lift up well. It did lift up. But there you go. One of those things.
Second half was good. I enjoyed it. And thought those performances from Timber and Partey were really good. Saka was brilliant when he come on. And Martinelli, for me, was my player of the match just because I saw such an improvement from what he has been playing. So I hope that continues. But yeah, definitely the Odegaard and Rice thing, I'm not a fan of it. And you think how much money we've spent on players there, you know, was it 40 on Odegaard, 45 on Partey, and 105 on Declan Rice? You're looking at 200 million there, thinking this should be a hell of a lot better than it is.
And it should work then.
It should work, but it will work if they just put him in the bloody double pivot and played Odegaard there. I don't think. Well, it might not work, but it would be work better than it is now. Declan Rice players, I hate it. I cringe every time I'm seeing it. I'm thinking, you are not going to thread this. You're not Santi. You're not Cesc.
No, that's the thing. You know what I mean? He doesn't do that, and that's what, like, for me. I wouldn't. I'm not saying against Real Madrid. That's a different bit. But when we play these low block teams, like you say, could he have just played Wanyeri and Odegaard in there and Partey holding and say like Declan have a rest for the? I don't know. I know when you're going away to Everton, can you do that? Like, maybe against Everton you can, because they will play will they open up against us?
They'll low block us, mate. We know what Moyes will do, crikey. But I just think with Rice, like, how many people would take him last season in the 6? In Europe, people were talking about him being right up there. No one this season wants Declan Rice. They're like, Christ, they've ruined him. Crikey, we don't want him in the 8. Crikey, we'll have a Foden or a Bernardo, or we'll have a Caicedo in the 8, or we'll have Morgan Rogers in the 8. No one wants Declan Rice, bruv, in the 8. We've ruined him in that position. This season, doesn't even get into the top 5 players of the season. Last season, he was clear. He was by far our best player. This season, you don't even talk about Rice. No one talks about him anymore. This whole season, they're like, crikey.
I still think he's been one of our better players.
Say again?
I still think he's been one of our better players.
I don't know if he has this season.
I do think that, yeah. I think, but I'll make you right. When it comes to low block teams that are playing it, like if you play against Real Madrid, you're thriving at, because it'd be a little bit more. But I agree with you. When they play these low block teams, I think he struggles a little bit.
I've seen him play probably 5 good games in that position out of the 25 times he's played there, whatever it is. And 2 of them were last season against Burnley and Sheffield United, when we beat them by 6. And the other 2 this season have been Man United and PSV. I'm struggling to find another couple of games where I thought, Christ, Rice was man of the match. I think he got 9 player of the matches last year. He ain't got 1 this year, has he? I think he got 1 against Man United, was it? That was it.
Yeah.
I just think the stats are too. The evidence is there for me that this ain't working, this midfield. I mean, why do we need midfielders still? We should be going, right, that's complete. Let's move to the next position. But we're still wanting midfielders because he ain't got the balance right yet.
No, I also think the balance is not right from the top half yet, which I think
it ain't.
It got better when Saka come on, like, so, but it'd be interesting to see, like, you're going to get your wish now if Party goes over to right back, like he'll be playing there. Like,
that's why I don't mind Rice playing in the 6, but I want him with Party in the 6. No, I want him together.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I think you're going to get now.
Well, I think we're getting that now. I think Rice will be. I think we'll see him in the 6, but Party's going to be at right back.
Yeah, I think he will be, Dan. I think, like, you're right. I think Jorginho might come in for these Champions League games now as well.
God, dear.
It's so annoying because remember when we played Liverpool? I know we got a draw against Liverpool, but we had the whole back 4 out that day.
Yeah.
We're going to have it virtually again.
Well, we are having it again. We got 10 defenders, 5 of them are out.
Yeah.
We're stacked in that position, and all 5 of them are out.
Yeah.
I mean, we might get some good news today or tomorrow. We might hear that actually all of them might be back for Tuesday. I doubt it.
Gabriel, whatever happens.
Well, no, he's definitely gone. Sorry, I was more meaning Timber, White, and
he's definitely gone. We'll see on Friday when he goes to his press conference. But yeah, you won't see Gabriel this in what we now April. You won't see him in April.
No, I don't think we'll see Gabriel again. I think he's done. I think he's that hamstring is he's walked off just like Saka did, didn't he? It's not going to be as bad as Saka's, but I don't think we'll see him again. If I'm honest,
no, that's
Calafiori. I don't think he's back. So yeah,
the one good thing about Gabriel's, he wasn't at full sprint. He was running, but it weren't sprinting like.
Well, no one really coming on. No one kicked the ball out or anything. We just carried on playing all these Arsenal players. I'm thinking, let's just kick it. He's done. He's injured. What's happening? Timber as well.
I don't think they see it. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? We was having a real good patch at that time. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? And I'll tell you another thing. Like, you know what I mean? They're all getting Fulham to knock the ball out. Why the hell were you asking Fulham to knock the ball out when we didn't knock the ball out when we had the ball? I'll tell you what, like, you know, and he started getting up about that, and I'm thinking, no. You know what I mean? There's a bit of naivety at times of Arsenal, even now. There is.
Yeah, honestly, it's crazy. It's crazy.
The Calafiori will be back before Gabriel. There you go. That's someone saying that. Like,
well, yeah, I don't know. God knows what's happening with him. Look, Gun on 85. Love the show, boys. Going on about Rice. Can't believe what I'm hearing. One of the best players leaves everything out on the pitch. I'm not saying that he don't leave everything out on the pitch. I'm saying that it's an Arteta problem, not a Declan Rice problem. Declan Rice, one of my favourite players, which I'm frustrated he's out of position. He is a number 6. He was bought 105 million because for club and country, he was a number 6. People were saying he could be the next Rodri. I never thought he could, but he's definitely that sort of attributes, yeah? Michael Carrick type player. I never looked at Rice once and thought, I tell you what, I think he's an Ozil. No, I didn't. Never in my life did I think that. But he's trying to play him there. Don't get this manager, man. He kills me. Vendetta himself says, looking at the replays, could have Kivior come across, closed down their Fulham player. He's so poor at defending. We're in big trouble with him at the back.
Yeah, I agree with that. But you still got to look at where your left back was. You still got to look at where your left back was. The left back wasn't where he should be. Now, whose fault's that? This is what I'm saying. Like, you've got Arteta pinning down Martinelli to do it there. Like, well, maybe you should concentrate on getting your left back to defend properly instead of putting him in the midfield. Things like that, I would say. Yes, Kivior should have come across, but then if he comes across, does the ball just go playing into the midfield? Sometimes it's best to leave. Where's the least danger out wide? At some stage, you've got to engage. He engages in the box, which is not the right thing to do. Should have got out there a lot earlier than what he did, but I don't think he should be bombing out there straight away. The left back should be there. That's my opinion. And I'm sorry, I'm old school when it comes to that. A left back was a left back. A right back was a right back, and centre halves are centre halves. And funny enough, a goalkeeper was a goalkeeper. You know, I mean, I'd rather him know how to save a ball and control it. But there you go. Football's changed. Football has changed.
It has changed. Yeah, it has changed. And look, I just, if I'm honest with you, I'm in a position at the moment where now I was already quite nervous about this Real Madrid game. I'm now pretty nervous, if I'm honest. I think this defensive situation could mean that it's over in the first leg. I'm glad I ain't got tickets to the second one now. I was going to get some, but I think it could be done in the first leg if we've got that back line. It will.
Oh no, we've had it. You know,
it'll be 3-0 or something in the first leg if we've got that back line.
It'd be a little bit like the Liverpool game. You know what I mean? We played well, but we've got exposed at the back. And it'll be just another frustrating night, you know what I mean? You know what's coming, and I don't want to be doom and gloom about it, but we knew that when Saka was going to go out, what was going to happen, which has been proven right. The Gabriel one is a massive loss. Massive loss.
Huge.
It's a game changer. As much as Saka coming back's a game changer, so is that.
I agree, mate. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of frustrated by it. Yeah, CB, I would love to have got a ticket. I'm mucking around, I'm tongue in cheek, but I couldn't in the end get one. That was basically what I was meaning. I didn't turn it down. But yeah, I'm kind of frustrated. If I'm honest, I feel a bit deflated today with that injury, Lee. I can't lie to you. But look, there's other news to come to the last section. And it is transfers. I know we don't like doing transfers in the transfer window isn't open, but Andrea Burt is appointed. Arteta expects a big summer, bruv. And let's talk about what the big summer might look like in some of the eyes of the club. There's rumours today. These are only rumours, people. But we have to discuss them when they come in. Arsenal, Newcastle, Chelsea and United are all in the race to sign Dusan Vlahovic, 25-year-old set to leave Juventus this summer. Which club would you move to out of those four options is the question. Now, I think he starts for United. I think he starts for Chelsea. And I think he would actually start at Arsenal. However, obviously at Newcastle, he'd be back up to Isak. I think this would be quite a deflating signing after all this now, Lee. I know that for years we've been linked with him. I think back then, if we signed him from Fiorentina, he would have been a great signing because he's off the back of a little bit like what Gyökeres was doing, banging in goals in Europe. He hasn't been too great at Juventus. The stats are still there. I think he's had about 20 goals, to be honest. But 25 years old, fits the sort of profile like Havertz that I believe Arteta wants. Would you see this as a good signing, or do you think it would be a backup striker situation? What are you saying?
Listen, I'm with you, Dan. 2 years ago, it'd been a great signing, but it's just not worked for him in Juventus. And for me now, that ship sailed. There's better out there. That's how I look at it. Like, you know, again, if he does come, it's a bit of a gamble. I don't want to gamble. You know what I mean? I've gone like three out of 4 transfer windows without hardly getting anything. Like, you know, definitely 2 Januaries. I don't want gambles. I'm sorry, like, you know what I mean? He might be great, you know what I mean? But that's how I feel. Sorry.
I'm with you. I don't want him. And if he's coming in, I want someone ahead of him, like Gyökeres. I don't think this guy would be interested now. I think he'd probably more chance of going to Chelsea or Man United, if I'm honest, out of that. So let's see. Isak looks like he's staying at Newcastle as long as they get Champions League football. Looks like it's going to be a kind of no-go, if I'm honest. I think we all knew that, Lee, didn't we? He's unobtainable, isn't he?
Yeah. listen, and they will get Champions League football with the top 5. They will get that. So, and we always said that weren't going to happen because of that reason. Like, I'll be very if he leaves, that's a different story, and goes to Liverpool, I'll be furious. But I do think that I think that he'll stay there if they get Champions League football.
I agree, and I think they will get Champions League football. Just won a trophy, top 5 will get you it. I think Newcastle will finish 5th this season, and Isak's one of the reasons I think that, and I think he will stay. And I actually think Newcastle will have a huge summer, and I think could actually do something crazy next season. I'm not saying they're going to win the league, but I think they could title challenge next season.
They'll be up there.
I think they will. I think they will be up there. Harvey Elliott looking to go to Newcastle. Chelsea, they need a striker. Is it Osimhen? Is it Harry Kane? Is it? No, it's Tierno Barry from Villarreal, another 22-year-old. Keep going, Chelsea. Keep going, Chelsea. Okay, next bit of news as well is this bit of news. Arsenal, Newcastle and Forest are among the clubs interested in the Roma defender Evan Ndika, who's rated at over £32.5 million. Now, 2 years ago, I said this would be a good signing for Arsenal. I thought he was doing very, very well at Stuttgart. I actually do like him as a defender. However, since he's gone to Roma, I don't watch Serie A, so I don't know what he's been like. But he was very highly rated when he was over in Germany, and I liked him a lot. I liked the look of him a lot. I thought he was very much kind of in the mould of a Canate type centre-back. I think we might need a centre-half, Lee, if I'm honest with you. We've just been talking about the crisis. We ain't got any centre-back other than Gabriel and Saliba that we rate. Would this be a good bit of business?
We need someone. We need someone to cover on the left spot. Like, maybe Calafiori will do that. I don't know, like, and be the backup. But, we don't know what's going to happen with Tomiyasu, who's been out for over a year. It's a difficult one. Like, I think that we may need that. But if I could be really honest, Dan, really, really honest, I expect us to be spending big money in other areas before defence. I'm quite happy to let that go, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I felt for a while that we needed somebody at the back. The problem we've got is it's fine saying go and get Milenkovic and Murillo, or go and get Mark Guehi or Maxence Lacroix, or go and buy Diamande, or even this guy Ndika, but they're all going to want to play, and they ain't going to at Arsenal. No. They ain't going to start ahead of Gabriel or Saliba unless one of them's injured. So I do feel like it's quite a difficult position for Arsenal to get now. I think Calafiori will probably be the left-sided cover next season, and I think right-sided cover is probably where we're at. But it wouldn't surprise me if we got rid of Zinchenko, Tierney and Kivior and didn't buy anybody, because I think what he might look at is playing Lewis-skelly and Calafiori at left-back, Timber and White at right-back, and then Gabriel and Saliba at centre-backs, and then use Calafiori and White as the right-sided and left-sided cover. That's what I think he might do.
And Tomiyasu as well, like, so
well, he kept because of that. So I think defence, I don't know that we're going to get anyone.
No, I think that would probably be suffice and all, like, on the normal circumstances. Even though this season it's not.
No, this season's just a mad one, isn't it? Listen, people, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. We've only got 72 likes, which is mad. There's 430 people in here. Let's get the likes up, people. No one's hit the like button, which is sad. Okay. Nico Williams is the next one. And apparently the representatives have met with Arsenal. And Nico Williams' representative have met with Arsenal's new sporting director in recent days. So it looks to me like Andrea Berta is already starting to work. He wants Gyökeres, from what we hear. He's now speaking to Nico Williams. This is someone that Arteta is clearly massively obsessed with. £49 million release clause. He's got 5 goals and 4 assists in 27 games, something like that. Not amazing.
No.
But for Spain, he's lit it up. He's absolutely lit the show up in the Euros. He's clearly got potential, and he's a youngster. What do you think, Lee?
Yeah, listen, you know what I mean? I'm not against something like that. If I'll be honest, we need someone out there, something different, you know what I mean? So, listen, again, it's something that Arteta seems to want him, and that's what he wants. Go get the deal done. No excuse, really. Like, there's a release clause, so it's if he wants to come. If he does, there's the money. See, go and get him, like, So the trouble with these buyout clauses is that they've got to be out on full. So if you're going to get Gyökeres, you're going to get him and all that. That's a lot of money to just put out straight away. So I don't know if you can do all of that all the time. When people go, release clauses, whatever, unless you can negotiate. We'll have to wait and see on that, like, you know.
Agreed. I think there's other options than Nico Williams out there. I like Lookman. I think a lot of people say Cunha or Mitoma ahead of him. Brian and Wemu, or Kudus, but they're more right-sided in my opinion. But I think Nico Williams, I don't think it would be a massive risk. I don't think it's one I look at and go, what, 50 million for him? At least we know that he can do it in big moments. And I think what would be quite realistic to look at is when there is a team built around him, i.e. Spain, he looks pretty good. For Athletic Bilbao, I'm not saying they're terrible, by the way, but the quality is not that level. And Williams has not been great at El Bilbao. However, saying that, they're still favourites to win the Europa League. But I think it would be a good signing, but not one I look at and go, wow, that's taken us to a new level. I don't particularly look at him and Martinelli and think there's levels. I'll say that. And it looks like Trossard could be on the move. Martinelli, I think, will be kept. I mean, he has got to sign a new deal, to be fair to him. But I don't think it would be a bad bit of business if we was to get him. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that one. I think that's it for Arsenal news. Obviously, Jadon Sancho has been linked with a move back to Dortmund. And if I'm honest, it's the only club he's ever done any well at, to be fair. He's struggling at Chelsea and United, isn't he? So we'll have to see. But look, let's quickly talk. We are going to do another show before Everton, but let's quickly talk on that, your thoughts of that game. Do you think that's going to be one that we look at and struggle against? Because I think this low block, I always said if Fulham, I think we might nick it, which we ended up doing, to be fair. But Everton, I think we're going to draw, and I stand by that. I think we might drop points here.
I think this is always going to be the one that I was looking at and worried about. I always thought we'd just sneak over against Fulham. I said 2-0. It should have been 2-0, but it ended up with poor defending. This one here, with the injuries we've got, one eye definitely on Barcelona, and there's no two ways about it. I know that you play a game, Dan, and you've got to stay focused on the game. And I think, you know, that there will be faults of it. So I think it'd be a tough game. I'm not looking forward to it from that point of view. We shall see. Last time at Goodison, it'd be nice to go there and get a win. We'll have to wait and see on this game, like, you know. So I'm going for a 1-1 draw, though, if I'll be really honest. I said 2-1 on Forever Arsenal because I just don't like going against the grain. But if I'm realistic, I think this is where the title does finish for us, even though it's finished, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course. No, I mean, it is finished.
The final now, mate. The final now. Bang.
Yeah, I think we all know it is 100%. If I'm honest, it's going to be done in it. But yeah, final now, 12 points. I don't think it's looking too good, if I'm honest. But 9 points. Isn't it weird that we've got Everton and Fulham and South Day? It's unbelievable, isn't it? I heard that.
That's worked out.
How has that worked out? Like, it's quite incredible, to be fair, isn't it? So yeah, look, let's end on a couple of quiz questions because you know the chat like that, and I've been doing some quizzes on my channel as well, and people are doing quite well, to be fair. So here we go. Let's just take some random questions, shall we? Okay, first question is as follows. The chat can get involved in this as well. Which Arsenal player was given the nickname Baby Carnu? Which Arsenal player was given the nickname Baby Carnu? Let's see if the chat get it first. Do you know it, Lee?
No.
Or not yet? You don't? Baby Carnu. Don't look like the chat knows it either.
No.
Come on. Number 25 for Arsenal was Carnu. Who was the one after it? Well done, Chicken259. Correct. Adebayor.
Adebayor.
That was his nickname, Baby Carnu. Okay.
Well done.
Well done. Next question. No, that's easy. Everyone knows that one. Here we go. I said this on my channel. Let's see if anyone knows this one. Which Arsenal player was the first to be red carded at the Emirates? Which Arsenal player was the first to be red carded at the Emirates? If no one gets it for the next few, I'll give you the three options.
No, give me three options. I've got one in mind.
Abu Diaby, Kolo Toure, Philippe Senderos.
It's not one of my three that I had in Senderos.
I know. I found this difficult, if I'm honest.
I actually put it down, but so Senderos, is it? I don't know.
It is Philippe Senderos. Yeah, correct. It is Philippe Senderos. Okay, and this is quite a good one as well. It's quite tough, and I'll give you the three options as well. In the season of 2017-2018, Arsenal only received one red card in all competitions. Who received that red card? Was it Chuba Akpom, Mavropanos, or Machi Debussy?
Was it Mavropanos?
Was indeed, yeah. Mavropanos against Leicester away.
Yeah,
Well
I seem to remember that one. Like, yeah.
Yeah, well done. There we go. Bit of quiz. Well done in the chat as well, because you guys are on fire. You got a majority of those, so well done.
Well done. Well done.
Always good to have a bit of trivia, isn't it?
Yeah,
Everyone
I love that. I love that, like, mate.
Gotta love a bit of trivia. Big up to everyone in the chat, man. There's over 400 of you, the majority of this. So big up to everyone that's been here. I do appreciate it. And yeah, look, I feel like we've been a bit deflated, Lee, if I'm honest. We did win the game.
It has been a bit of a deflate, like, you know what I mean? So
it has been frustrating. It has been frustrating. But, you know, we'll see what we do against Everton and then see who's back for the Real Madrid game. Make sure you like and subscribe, people. Make sure you go tonight at 10 p.m. after the football games. I'll be doing a show on my channel. So please make sure you come over there and support. And, Lee, I'll let you have the last word, bro.
Yeah, I'm off for now for my County Cup final. So
good luck, mate. Yeah, good luck.
Good luck tonight. So let's hope we win that. So I'm off now, like, you know. And listen, keep the faith. You never know. Football's a funny thing. Speedy recovery, Gabriel. We're going to miss you.